Look at this thing. It's pretty sweet, right? Alright, so here's my new toolbox. I bought this off of Craigslist yesterday for 300 bucks, which honestly is cheap at twice the price, I think. Look at this thing from Harbor Freight you can get for 300 bucks. Now look at this thing. Are you kidding me? Alright. Here she is. I mean, it's dirty, yes, but full extension drawers. I'm push on that as hard as I can, and it's not going anywhere. This thing is solid. I saw a date code on these. Let's see if I can find it again. Yeah, right there. This one right here was made in 10 September 1977. This one's 1977. And this one's 1976. So they're old. Almost as old as I am, and I'm old. Anyway, it's in pretty good shape, but there are issues. Got some rust here, rust down here. You know, here's the thing. I love the way this thing looks. All beat up and used, and I mean, it's had a life, and I love that. Ooh, look at that. Oh, score. Anyway, some of me thinks, just leave it like this. Clean it up, grease these bearings so that the drawers are good. Some things need to be straightened. Pull out some of the dings and bashes, and just give it a good cleaning and make it usable and keep the character. However, the problem is this rust, and it's kind of all over. There are certainly some parts in here that I'm going to have to paint. And if I'm going to paint a few parts, maybe I'm going to have to paint the whole darn thing. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I do know that I've got to clean the crap out of this thing. So my very first step is to get out the elbow grease and start cleaning. I think I'm going to start with this one. It's actually 3 pieces. See, 1, 2, 3. So, and this one is probably a solid 200 pounds, I bet. Anyway, I'm going to start with this guy. Open up the door, start cleaning. Alright, this is as clean as I can get it with soap and water. And as you can see, it's kind of jacked up. I think I'm going to have to paint it. I just discovered that little drawer here, which looks nice. I'll have to pull that out and grease it up, but yeah, the more I look at this thing, the more I think I'm going to have to paint it. Maybe just the outsides. I'm removing the emblems so I can shine them up later. And now with a hammer and dolly, I'm just fixing dents the same way I do with a car. I think I'm going to have to paint them. Yep. So I'm going to leave the insides as is. I'll pull the drawers out and lube them up, get them exactly true. I'm gonna have sand these down. I'm probably gonna prep them just like I prep a car. Sand them down, degrease them, throw on a base coat and then a clear coat maybe, or maybe I'll do a one stage, like a hard one stage car paint. I'm not 100% sure. I don't think I can rattle can it, but I'll think about it. I got all the drawers out and all the sliders out. The sliders just have a little clip on them. You just pull the clip out, it slides right out. I'm going to clean the crap out of the drawers and the sliders, but I'll probably leave them out until I paint this. Anyway, I'm gonna get this emblem up if I can. Okay, here's the results of my cleaning so far. I've got all the drawers and the case of the top one all done. I got these channels all cleaned out. That was a pain in the ass. Somebody had used wax in them. It was clogging up the works, so they weren't very smooth. I've also got the side flam locker all cleaned up. And now I'm working on these slides here. There's a bunch of them, and they've all got that same wax in them. So I've got the heat gun. I like to heat up that wax and then get it nice and soft, and then I pull it out. I still haven't even started on this guy, and I don't know, 6-7 hours in on cleaning. This is turning out to be a major pain in the ass. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna do some of these and then I'll start taking this apart. Fantastic. Slowly making my way through all of these slides. There's 42 of them, which is a lot. I'm going to show you what I have to do for each one of them. Then you can just multiply that times 42 and you see what I'm going through. All of them have this wax on them. I think somebody waxed it up at some point, which probably worked well for a year, but then it got a ton of grime and gunk in them, and some of them are so sticky that you can barely pull it out. The best way I've found to get this wax out is with a heat gun. Heat it up, scrape it out, clean it up. So this is what I'm doing 42 times. Gotta work kind of fast before it sets up again. Just get as much as you can out of it. And then after it hardens up, you can come back and get the stuff you missed with just a scraper, but I got it. And then this side doesn't have, the top sides didn't have any wax in it, so those I just kind of scrape out with this brush. And then while I'm letting it cool down, I hit it with some carb cleaner and do some more brushing. Oh yeah, look at these nice clean channels. Ready for some grease? These are gonna slide real well, I think. As you see, a couple little places I missed, but yeah, pretty darn good. That was a pain in the ass. And you know what? I haven't even started on this one yet. Holy crap. This one looks pretty good. I think this is the one I'm going to take into Sherwin-Williams to get the paint mixed so they can give me a good color match.
I know it's been a while and people change everything about themselves.
Alright. I've cleaned everything except for this. I I don't know, 15, 18 hours into this job. It's bigger than I thought. I didn't know there was going to be wax in every single damn runner. That's what's taking the majority of the time. And that's why I've been avoiding this thing. It's because there's wax in all of these runners. And that's going to be a bitch to get out, but I can't avoid it any longer. It's time. I've taken off the emblem. I'm going to take off these wheels because I'm going to grease them up and make sure they're rolling real well. Other than that, nothing to do but do it. So, here goes. The next step is to flip this over so I can pull these wheels off. I'm going to give them a good going over, grease them up, maybe flip out the bearings. I don't know. I got to get in there and see, but we're almost to where I need to start sanding, and I'll talk to you about the paint in a sec. But anyway, let me get those wheels off. These wheels are in a state. Spin all right, but the brake's hard to do, and this is rough. This ball bearing is rough as heck. So I've got 4 of them. I'm gonna clean them up. These handles are nasty. A little bit of steel wool. Clean them up. I've got 28 of them to do. Show you the first one. Not too shabby. One down, 28 to go. There we go. Got them all shined up. They're looking good. All right. Another job done. All right, let's talk paint. My original plan for this was to buy a single stage auto paint and paint it up with single stage, just like I've done cars before. I've always had good results. So I went down to the Sherwin-Williams auto paint store and got my quote on auto paint. $400. No, I'm not gonna spend $400 on single stage auto paint. Red apparently is the most expensive paint you can buy. So I went and I got them to mix me this industrial enamel, and I got it paint matched. And it's a fairly good match. I don't know if you can even see it, but I've got a swatch right here painted, and it's a fairly good match, but still not perfect. And I just did a little test run with my spray gun to see how this thing would spray out and lay down. And I had to thin it. And then I had to thin it some more. And then I had to thin it some more to finally get it to spray. Eventually, to finally get the kind of spray I wanted, I was at pretty much 1-to-1. I was mixing it with naphtha. I also tried mixing it with just regular mineral spirits and paint thinner. Pretty much 1-to-1, and it was translucent and terrible. So I had to start looking at other things. So I bought a couple of rattle cans, and started doing some swatches on it, and this one right here is sunrise red. You can see I've got a couple others that didn't quite mix, but this sunrise red is pretty dang bang on. So although it won't make for as good a YouTube video, it's certainly the best finish, and it's easy and cheap. So I'm gonna go ahead and rattle can this thing. To that end, I went ahead and did a test run. Look at that. Before and after. And I got a good finish on that just by sanding, cleaning, and a rattle can. So that's what I'm going with. Like I said, it won't make for as interesting a YouTube video, but you can't argue with the results. Anyway, what that means is a shit ton of sanding. I'm gonna do it first with 120 grit, and then with 320 grit. And then I'm gonna clean the heck out of all of it, and I'm going to spray. It's probably gonna take me a while to spray because my problem with rattle can finishes is that it's usually hard to lay it on thick. However, with this, I can always turn it so I'm spraying something that's face up, so I can lay it good and thick without worrying about it dripping. So I'm gonna have to take this in stages, but honestly, I'm looking at a good solid 10, 12 hours of sanding first. So I'm gonna just turn on the fans, put on the respirator, and go to town. Done. Looking good. Got them all sanded up. I think it took about, 4 hours. I've still got some fine stuff to do just by hand, but for the most part, they're ready to go. I'm gonna finish up sanding where I need to get into the cracks by hand, and then start wiping down, and then I'm gonna go for it. Start painting. Sanding sucks, and I had to get down to bare metal on some of it just to get it flat. But now that it's done, let's get to painting. The finish came out pretty good on these. There are a couple of problem areas, but for the most part, I mean, it's orange peely, but come on, it was a rattle can. And it's a toolbox, so I'm actually pretty happy with it. I've got all of the drawers prepped up, wiped down with Prep-All and degreased, and ready to go. So time to spray. They look pretty good. Time will tell. Gotta see what they do when they dry, but all in all, came out pretty freaking good. We'll check in on them tomorrow. Alright, so while those drawers are drying, sorry for how loud it is, I got a bunch of fans going. But while those drawers are drying, I've got a couple other things. Look how nasty that is. That's gonna come up good, and this other handle. And then this liner right here is an original liner from it goes on top of the big cabinet, and it's made by Mac Tools. So I'm gonna see if I can clean this up. I've got other liners for the drawers, like new stuff, but if I can get this looking nice and pretty, that would be nice. So those three things, Wait for that to dry, come back tomorrow, get to put it all back together. That's gonna be the fun part. Not too bad. Ta-da! Looks pretty darn good. Here's just a final polish on all the metal parts. Protect them for later. Here I'm cutting out all the liners for all the drawers. I'm taking my time, making sure they fit perfectly. Looks like a freaking crime scene in here. Red everywhere. Cleanup's going to take a while. But everything's painted, everything's dry. It's time to put it all together. All done. Got linings in all of the drawers. Yeah. There she is. Not too shabby, huh? All said and done, probably about 400 bucks. 300 bucks for the toolbox, 100 bucks for the paint and the liners. And then, you know, shit, 25, 30 hours of work. So, if you're willing to put in the elbow grease, but certainly a much nicer toolbox than 400 bucks would have gotten me at Harbor Freight or Home Depot. So yeah, I'm pretty darn happy with it. Now I get to sort my tools and organize my tools in it and have fun. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you like it.